Hi, welcome to another edition of our PSU Presser. Corey Geiger, joined by Neil Riddell. I think this is a fascinating game this week coming up against Central Florida because Central Florida has crushed two terrible opponents, and Penn State is coming off of crushing a terrible opponent. This is one of those apples and oranges kind of. How do we know what to expect from either team when neither has really been pushed all that much by a good opponent?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Syracuse would at least be a representative name, but
Northwestern crushed them.
Yeah, I don't know that they're a whole lot better than some of the better teams in the MAC. I don't know that Akron's a better team in the MAC right now. It's a wild card. I think listening to Bill O'Brien today, it was pretty clear that he expects a more physical game, physical challenge. This is going to be their toughest game of the year so far.
Yeah, I mean, this team scored 76 points, but it's also been against two bad opponents. So how do you gauge, how do you judge really to know what to expect? Now, Bill O'Brien did talk very highly about their quarterback, Blake Bortles, calling him a pro prospect. And, I've looked at some of the numbers on him a little bit. They can do some things offensively.
Yeah, and I mean, last week's quarterback, Eastern Michigan, I thought functioned. The tight end, they had a combination. You're going to get that. You're going to usually get a pretty decent quarterback at these lower levels because that's a guy they're going to ask to do a lot of things. Usually, to me, it's these teams don't necessarily compete up front or they don't have the depth that a Penn State or the BCS conferences have.
We keep saying, for a couple weeks, and Bill O'Brien has mentioned this is going to be a tougher game than Penn State fans realize. This program has won 10 games 3 times in, I believe, the last 7 years. Now, they're beating up on maybe people that are lesser caliber opponents, but they know how to win. And in football, to me, the confidence that you get in learning how to win is what can help snowball things.
Well, yeah, and plus you're dealing with maybe some athletes in Florida. I mean, this is a really fertile recruiting state. Maybe guys that got overlooked at the University of Florida, Miami, Florida State. Central Florida came in here in 2002 when Penn State had a pretty decent team and really barely lost. It was all Penn State could do, and there was a real questionable call that went against Central Florida in that game. So, I think the early line, the first line I saw was 3.5. It has since kind of climbed up to about 6. But that said, I think that Penn State has shown a lot of pretty positive things so far in certain spots. Their defense has played well. Hackenberg, his percentage has been 70% already.
I think it's a great coaching matchup, too. Bill O'Brien was talking about the coaching tree under George O'Leary, and this is impressive. And look, as great as Joe was here for a long, long time, we've talked before, he didn't really have that coaching tree. Guys just didn't leave.
He preferred to keep the guys and the staff
George
together.
O'Leary's coaching tree is Doug Marrone, Ralph Friedgen, Randy Edsall. These are guys who Bill O'Brien, who have gone on to become head coaches elsewhere. Obviously, O'Leary's well known for what happened in Notre Dame, but he's settled at Central Florida. He's had a good run there, and he obviously knows how to develop coaches.
Yeah, but it really seems that his forte is toughness, and the fact that this is going to be a physical game, and that's an area where Penn State can't afford to lose players. Physical games lends itself to rough tumble style injuries. Penn State has 2 linebackers now. He did say that Hall would play this week and Klein, and that's important. The fact that they must have kept them out last week to making sure they're ready for this week.
I think that's an excellent.
Because the fact that he pronounced them ready to go on Tuesday.
I think that's an excellent point, that you're going to play a physical team, and that's where the injury. That's something we can really look forward on Saturday, because they cannot afford, obviously, to have guys go down. The depth chart lists Zach Zwinak or Bill Belton or Akil Lynch as the starting running back, which is interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen 3 guys in the or position, but obviously they've got some depth, and he trusts all 3 of those guys.
Yeah, and he said that, I don't know whether there were some bruised feelings with the fact that Lynch did not get in against Syracuse, because Bill O'Brien said today he prefers to kind of do it by committee. If a guy gets hot, they'll stick with him, but he wants to be able to involve all 3.
All right, let's go with score predictions, because I think this is going to be a good game, and I'm really looking forward to it because, like I said, I don't know that we really know what Penn State has, and we definitely don't know what Central Florida has when you're beating up on that bad a competition. But I do think this team can come in here and give a pretty good, 3.5 quarters.
Yeah, you ready to pick Central Florida?
No, I'm picking Penn State.
Oh. I said 27-19 Penn State. I would expect this game would go deeper into the second half. The Syracuse game went into the second half,
Yeah.
so I don't. Between their lack of depth and the fact that they're still working the bugs out with a freshman quarterback, I'm not ready to predict a blowout in this game.
I'm going 30-24. I think both offenses will do
6
well.
points. You're
I'm right on the line.
Try
Well,
not to get hurt.
the number won't be that come Saturday,
Okay.
but I made that pick when the number was 3.5.
Oh.
So I picked them to cover. I'll go 30-24.